As you know, we are very close to the end of the liturgical year. Next Sunday, we are going to celebrate Jesus Christ, the King of the universe. And right after that is going to be, I want to say this following weekend, we are going to celebrate the first Sunday of Advent. And with Advent, I guess you know, that we begin the new liturgical year. So the church, every single year at the end, invites us to meditate on what we call the apocalyptic discourse. I guess you know that we have 3 liturgical years. Year A, B, and C. Thank you. And we are in year C. And we have 3 synoptic gospels that we read every single year. One year we read one, the following year another one. This year is St. Luke. Next year is going to be St. Matthew. And the following one, St. Mark. And as I was saying, the 3 of them have the apocalyptic discourse. And we are just read the one according to St. Luke. Now, and this is very important, we are at the end of the liturgical year and we are reading the apocalyptic discourse. Why? And this is why, to respond, if we respond to that question, that is going to give us the theme and is going to give us the rhythm, if you want, that the Catholic Church wants us to have in today's celebration. I am so sorry, I don't remember, I didn't check what is the Greek word for apocalyptic, but I think it's apocalypso. Apocalypso, okay? I'm not sure. And what does it mean? Apocalypso means to unveil, to keep a veil, which means to reveal. And the translation to Latin to that word is revelatio. Those who speak English, like Latin, because the last book of the Bible is Revelation, which means we like in Spanish the Greek one. We have in Spanish Apocalipsis, which means the same thing. So, the main goal of the Apocalypso or the Revelatio writings is to reveal something. And the book does, in this case, that discourse that in a very encrypted message using images that we have to understand. Many people think that this is bad, actually, bad news, and no, it's good news. The entire Bible is about good news. But many people say, I don't want to read Revelation, Apocalypse, so writings, it's too complicated. Because we don't understand the message, we don't understand the images. So I want to try to unveil for you, what the gospel is trying to reveal to us. And I think it's beautiful and it's very powerful. And we have to take care of that in our Christian life. Let me give you the setting of today's gospel. We don't know where Jesus Christ with his disciples are in St. Luke. In the other 2, it's very clear that they are not in the temple. They are in the Mount of Olives. Here it's not clear. They can be there, they can be in the temple. But the most important thing is that the disciples are watching at the temple and they are saying how beautiful this temple is. Wonderful. Great. And preparing the homily, I found something very interesting. I don't know if you are going to like it, but I'm going to tell you that. That temple was the second temple. The first one was built by Solomon and was destroyed by the Babylonian Empire when they went to Israel and occupied Jerusalem. They destroyed the temple. So this one is the second one. And Herod the Great, in the year 19 BC, decided to start a remodelation of the temple to make it more beautiful and bigger. Okay? And the remodelation was ended, listen to that, between the years 63 and 64 AD. And this is something funny for me. In the year 1770 AD, the Romans came and destroyed the temple. So like 3 or 4 years after, they destroyed the temple. It's funny, but it's interesting, because that is telling us something too. I hope you are with me, because it's very interesting. That is going to help us to meditate what the gospel wants us to teach us, to meditate. So, keep in mind, the disciples are watching that huge, beautiful building. They say, oh, how wonderful it is, how beautiful. I'm going to give you another piece of information. Scholars say that Herod put white marble and gold, so people could see the temple from far away, shining, the gold and the white marble. So it was a building that was not only big, beautiful, but it was attractive. You could see it from far away. Now you think that you see a building like that today, and somebody is telling you that building is going to be destroyed. Please. We are admiring that building, and you are telling me that it's going to be destroyed? This is what Jesus Christ is doing and saying. This temple that you are admiring too much is going to be destroyed. But this is nothing actually. Let me tell you something about the meaning of the temple for the Jewish people. What is the meaning? The temple was the center of the religious life, political life, economic life. Religious life, the center of the religious life in our country. There is not a city for that, but the political life, Washington, D.C. Huh? The economic life, New York City, whatever, okay. Say that is going to be destroyed completely. So where the Jewish people had the center, the foundation of the life, somebody is telling them that is going to be destroyed. And let me give you another piece of information. Scholars say that the temple was built like a microcosmos. They wanted to have the temple as the microcosmos, as micro-universe. It was symbolizing the entire universe. So the destruction of the temple was also the destruction of the entire universe. So Jesus Christ is saying everything is going to be destroyed. This is what he's saying. Why? The question is why. St. John is going to give us a beautiful information about the why. In the Gospel of St. John says that Jesus says when he is watching at the temple, that temple is going to be destroyed and a new one is going to be rebuilt in 3 days. Do you remember? And St. John says that Jesus Christ was talking about his body, himself. So what the gospel is saying is the center that you have, the foundation that you have has to be removed, and in order to be removed has to be destroyed to give place to another center. Jesus Christ, me. Jesus Christ is saying me. I should be the center. You cannot rely on that temple. You cannot put your faith in that temple. You cannot put your trust in that temple. You cannot put your entire life in that temple. That temple, which is your center, is a center with a small c. That temple that is the foundation of your life with a small f is going to be destroyed and should be destroyed in order to give place to a new one, Jesus Christ. The C, the center with a capital C, the foundation with a capital F. New one. This is what's going on in today's gospel. Now, how we can apply that to our spiritual life. I think I said everything. I can feel it right now, actually. But I'm going to say two things. Two things. I have time to say two things. The first one, we all have to, but first, I'm going to read that. Preparing the homily, I was trying to find a beautiful sentence. I don't know if you are going to like it. The first invitation of today's gospel is to think about the transient nature of everything. Did I pronounce it correctly? Transient nature of everything. That's very important. My brothers and sisters, I don't like to give you bad news, but I'm going to give you one this morning. Everything is going to disappear one day. Everything. And the gospel is telling us that we are not upset. We are not going to make a huge, I don't know how to say, it's something that is real. Everything that we have and that we see is going to disappear, is going to come to an end. And this is the main theme of today's gospel. We cannot rely on anything we see. Again, why? Because that is going to disappear. Don't put your life, your trust, don't put your faith in what you see. It's going to disappear. And because of that, you cannot put your faith on that. So the question here is where we are putting our trust. Who or what is the center of our life? Temporal things? Don't put it there. You are making a huge mistake. The gospel is telling us. Jesus Christ is telling us. Don't put it there. Whatever it is, money, pleasure, whatever, power, that is going to disappear one day. So you have to understand that the only center on your life should be Jesus Christ. I almost forgot. And the process to remove these centers with small c and put the center with capital C is painful. It's not easy. I want this small center in my life. The process to get rid of that and accept Jesus Christ is painful. We don't want, as human beings, we want to be there, seize those centers, seize those foundations. And sometimes we don't want to take the only one who matters, which is Jesus Christ. That is painful. And this is what the gospel is saying too. Okay. And the second invitation, very simple. To meditate about the centers we have and start getting rid of those centers in order to allow Jesus Christ, the only center, to become that, the center and the foundation of our entire life. So please, let us meditate today and the entire week about that center, foundation that we should have in our Christian life, Jesus Christ. And let us get rid of those other centers in which we try to put our trust, faith, confidence, because we cannot rely on them. They are going to come to an end one day, sooner or later. Please stand.